So this is odd. You see, this was supposed to be the day that everyone in Venezuela that was against the current administration went out into the street and rioted and protested and didn't go to work and made their voices heard. Well, guess what? Everybody got up and took a shower and had breakfast and kissed their loved ones goodbye and went to work. Just like every other day. Imagine that. You see, I know there's a whole bunch of contrary voices out there now going, they're afraid of the government. They're afraid that they're going to get thrown in prison. Okay. You can do this for yourself. You don't even have to listen to the Mickey. Go to VPI TV. This is YouTube. Very easy to find. This is their version of public television. This is their version of NPR. These people have gone off on the current administration for the last 2 years, 3 years, nonstop. They drop dozens of videos a day, live interviews, people on the street in Venezuela. Go hear for yourself. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you see. Do you see massive throngs of skeletal, starving people? You won't. Even the people that are telling you everything the MSM in this country is telling you, when you actually look at it for your own eyes, your eyes will tell you a completely different story. And if you think the people are so afraid, go look at the videos of the marches to free Jabba the Hutt. The starving 400-pound Venezuelan that tried to kill their leader. You won't see a sign of government intervention anywhere. Not one round of tear gas. You won't find one soldier, unlike in Brazil. But that's another story, another video we're going to do. Unlike the war in Colombia, the streets are quiet. And if you don't think that's evidence enough, sorry about this, I thought I had it. There we go. Strangely enough, the day after, Venezuela rolls out the Petro cryptocurrency, which is supposed to be this giant ripoff and not worth anything, and you would be stupid if you owned it. They have come to an agreement now to allow Venezuela to continue operations in the Caribbean. Refining operations, oil exporting operations. Strangely enough, the day after, this was actually the day of, it broke late last night. I thought about getting up doing a very late night video, but ConocoPhillips and New Star, both. But there's something in here they don't want you to know because they don't think that you're going to understand what it really means. The settlement means that Conoco will suspend the legal enforcement as long as PDVSA makes regular payments. The legal enforcement is of this judge's ruling to seize and liquidate the terminals in Aruba, Bonaire, that area, the Caribbean assets of Venezuela. He declined to say if payments would be made in cash or crude oil, adding that details of the agreement were confidential. Imagine that. You see, they would not have set a deal with Venezuela if they thought Venezuela wasn't going to be able to pay. But they know they're going to be able to. Now they just have to rewrite the narrative somehow. Because the MSM narrative isn't going to jive with this. And it's not just ConocoPhillips. New Star Energy, and there's even more lining up right now to cut deals because they know that it's going to work. Venezuela has shaken off the DTs of the dollar. It's the best analogy that I can give for you. And if you think this isn't the story, if this really isn't the truth, you should go back and look for articles in your Google search, 2012 to 2015, and you'll see the exact same story reported 4 years ago that you see reported today in the mainstream media. exactly, word for word. The BBC is even using the same pictures they were using of quote-unquote starving Venezuelans that they were using 4 years ago. We can confirm that we have signed an agreement with PDVSA, which brings their account current. New Star spokesman Chris Cho said in an email, this agreement improves the earnings outlook for our St. Eustatius terminal for the remainder of 2018. New Star and PDVSA also signed a new contract that reduces the storage available to PDVSA at the facility while securing fees for about a year's worth of storage. So they went from being way, 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 way behind to a year ahead in one day. Imagine that. Now, as far as that search that I told you to do, you'll find this article from Venezuela Analysis that explains point by point by point exactly what happened. And this is a November 23rd, 2015 article. And it speaks of exactly what went on during this time. How during the 90s, when Venezuela was this tiny, tiny poor country that exported way more oil than the U.S. did. I mean, we're talking less than 30 million people. We're talking maybe 20, 25 million people in the whole country, and they exported way more oil, but they had 80% poverty. Basically slave labor. And when Chavez took power, changed all that. And here's just a snippet from it. For a long time, I should say, from 2004 to 2008, the Venezuelan economy did quite well, growing at a very rapid rate of 10% a year. And that was, of course, because oil was high. And the government's policies of capturing a far larger proportion of the dollars that the country earned, and then reinvesting that money in social programs, education, and in efforts to diversify the economy also made a difference. So this was going on. And you also have to remember at this time, there were thousands and thousands of refugees streaming into that country from Colombia because of the war going on there. But in mid-2008, the global financial crisis struck and drove the price of oil down from $1.40 a barrel to less than $40 a barrel. But that still didn't collapse their economy. They just went out, they got bonds, people gave them loans because they knew they were good for it because of the vast amount of resources they had in the country. And this is what a certain group of people knew. So they had to figure out something to get their slave labor back. So you can read this for yourself. But the last thing I'll leave you with here, since we are a minute and 45 seconds away from the end of the video. Here we go. This was Forbes. Just wanted to show you this. December 16, 2014. The imminent implosion of Venezuelan Chavismo. December 16, 2014. This is going on. This will be a 4-year-old article. And it was imminent in 2014. And here we are today. Now, the story that I wanted to share with you. Let's see if I can find it. It goes to the elections in 2012 that Maduro won after Chavez died. This is the guy here that the powers that be wanted to be president of Venezuela. Enrique Capriles Radonsky. And I think you know where we're going with this. Let's take a quick peeky-boo into the past and what Enrique Capriles Radonsky was really all about. Let's see what his own Wikipedia page says about him. Give us 1 second to load this here. Oh, gosh, Capriles Radonsky is of Sephardi Jewish and Ashkenazi Jewish descent. His grandparents immigrated from Russia and Poland during World War II. Wow. So they wanted an Ashkenazi to be in charge of Venezuela. And when they didn't get their way, magically we saw all of the problems, all of the heartache and all of the grief. But it didn't work. And now they're having to figure out what to do next. So like I said, you can look all this up for yourself. But this is the truth if you're willing to go out and find it. But we'll leave it there. It's fixed. And it's going to take a while. But mark my words, things are looking up in Venezuela. And the current mainstream media is going to have some help from outside forces to maintain their story. So watch for that. Like, share, subscribe.